Right now, companies are racing to adopt artificial intelligence at maximum speed, pushing forward without a clear map of their own operational terrain. The central flaw in this rush is that leadership teams are purchasing technology looking for a problem to solve, rather than diagnosing their actual bottlenecks first. This approach creates heavy capital expenditures for subscriptions and custom builds that can yield zero measurable economic value for the business. When a company fails to measure its own operational reality before signing software contracts, necessary innovation quickly turns into an expensive, heavily entrenched liability. There is a methodical alternative to that chaos. You can secure precise implementation clarity without absorbing the friction of a traditional multi-month consulting engagement. Prosperis offers a structured AI readiness assessment designed to map your exact operational state at a fixed entry point of exactly $199. Compared to the high stakes of enterprise software adoption, a $199 fee is negligible, which raises the question of how a diagnostic tool at this price point delivers specific strategic intelligence. It works because this upfront diagnostic identifies the misalignments that usually drive up project costs, preventing you from committing major capital to the wrong software before you've even started. The process begins with a focused 30 to 60-minute discovery session, bridging a Prosperis advisor and your company leadership. The defining operational advantage of this interview is that artificial intelligence is actively deployed in real time to assist the human advisor. As the conversation unfolds, the AI assistant parses the dialogue, identifies gaps in the information, and generates targeted follow-up questions to fill them. These prompts target your internal conditions, probing where repetitive workflows exist, where administrative burdens drag down margins, and how your current data architecture is actually structured. A static consulting questionnaire relies on the client knowing exactly what to report. This AI-assisted interrogation adapts to the conversation, extracting deeper and more accurate operational pain points. Prosperis applies the discovery data to an analytical framework designed to test your practical implementation ability. This chart maps your profile across 7 weighted dimensions, ranging from strategy to technology, to calculate a specific readiness score based on your actual capabilities. Within the data readiness dimension, for example, the framework evaluates whether you actually own accessible, high-quality information, or if your data is trapped in isolated software silos. It maps workforce readiness, evaluating whether your current employee base possesses the skills to adopt these tools during organizational changes. It scrutinizes governance and risk, requiring specific policies on data privacy, security compliance, and the protection of your intellectual property. Because these dimensions are interconnected, a low score in a single area, like data accessibility, can be enough to stall an otherwise well-funded AI initiative. That central readiness score generates the primary physical output of the assessment, a customized, prioritized implementation roadmap. This timeline illustrates your chronological progression, moving from high-impact wins in the first 90 days to strategic enterprise capabilities over the first year. Then, preliminary financial modeling is mapped onto that timeline, highlighting estimated labor savings, the required investment, and the projected payback period. Translating technological goals into these financial projections grounds the conversation. It allows leadership to base investment decisions on projected payback periods and specific labor savings rather than speculation. It is important to define the boundaries of the $199 fee. This covers diagnostic planning and strategic mapping. It does not include the physical deployment of a software solution. However, if the company elects to proceed with implementation based on the findings, that initial $199 fee is fully credited toward those follow-on services. This credit mechanism removes the concept of a sunk consulting cost. The assessment simply functions as the first installment of your execution phase. The Prosperis approach begins by identifying exactly where business value is currently being lost or missed, then selecting the tools that fix those specific leaks. This diagnostic process provides leadership with the exact sequencing required to take operational friction and translate it into measurable, recurring economic value.